Hey guys, this is Elton Hunter, and today we are going to use Visual Basic for application in another case, another scenario of life. So let's just go ahead and check the case now. So what's the case all about? A friend of mine works for a company and he would like to take the inquiries that they have for different products every day and distribute this total amount that he receives from this product in, I would call it stocks that he will take and just place in different days of the weeks. But he would like the amount of that we split it with to be actually equal or even to each other. So what we did, we took a number, and in this case, I will call it common number. This will be 62. And we will actually divide this with the total amount of the product that we are looking for. I just did a small test here with one of the formulas that I'm using for calculating this. So 450 kilograms for this, it will get me 8 stocks. So I'm actually positioning the cursor over this cell so that you can see in here the formula that I'm using here. As you can see, I'm rounding the amount that I receive from the division so that we can have a number that is integer so that we can work with it when we actually start working in the distribution. So let's see it in action right now. I will place a couple of numbers here, amounts, I mean, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. So we have 4 so far. As you can see there on the total inquiries, you can see I also have another formula. I should have to point at this one so you can see I'm just counting the amount of inquiries that I have for this particular week, or it could be 2 weeks here. I don't know. 300 again. Let's say he got 100 for these, 100 kilograms of I don't know, beans or something, and then 90 and I don't like the small amounts. I think it's just a little. You can see maybe 130 there. Let's see. That looks a little bit better. 260. Let's just stop there and I will show you how this works. So basically I did a macro that will actually populate this and distribute all these amounts evenly based on the stock number that we have here, which is the fixed one that I got from the division. So let's just go ahead and click on populate, and with the magic of Excel and the processor that you have on your computer, you will be able to see that the operation has been completed. And now you can see the distribution here for this particular product. You can also add the product name if you want, an ID, but this is just for study purposes, educational purposes. So I just want you to see how this actually works. So where all this is coming from, no worries. I got here my Visual Basic for application editor, and as you can see here, I already created the macro, and sorry for this time I didn't comment in any of the statements that I have on here, but basically this one on error, on any error we can send it, we can simply display the error message in a message box. So we display it in a message box and exit the sub so that we don't get in trouble, right? So that's what I'm doing there. First of all, I always create the error handler, so whatever happens I will go here. You see, Visual Basic will ignore all these because I already have an error, or whatever the error starts from there to the end of this. And once I have the error, I will just gonna take the message box and print all that on the message box so that you can see what happened, and you will see what type of error code was and the number of the error and what the error was all about in the error description, right? As you can see here. But if nothing wrong happened. Basically, I'm just declaring two variables that I will use for loop that I will use. Okay, we will use for loop in this one, and I will combine two for loops. So that's very important to mention. So I will use I and N as my interaction numbers that will actually help me do the loops for this particular matter. So I will have total rows here, as you can see. This will give me, or will take from the range that I have the total amount of inquiries, so that I know how many rows I have to move with the for cycle. You see the for loop. I will know then how to go on each of those rows, so that I can start writing on the cells based on this number. So the row numbers will give me the actual number that I'm in, and I will be incrementing this number so that I can actually be able to move, because the other one will give me just the total amount, but this one will give me actually the location that I'm in at that moment, and I can increment it to jump to the next one below, and so on. Actually stock, it will be basically the cell that I'm writing the things on. Start range, as it says, it will be where am I starting on this. In this particular case, I will start on D5, okay, but from there I will just move forward, and start just filling it up all the information. And what I do with this, basically, I don't want to see what Excel is doing. I don't want to see all this flickering on the screen. So this is just for avoiding that behavior from Excel. So we set up the screen updating to false, so that we don't see none of those flickerings. And here I'm starting to basically I'm establishing the range that I will use as the start range, and then just as I say, start populating with ranges the variables that I prepare for this. So this one will move between rows, so it will go row by row by row. And these other four here, let me just add a tab here so that you can see the difference. Let me do the same with these. Over there it looks way better. So the first one, as I say, is for the rows. Okay, I will move through the end until, if I have 4 rows, because there were 4 inquiries, I will move like that. And the other one is to move from left to right, so that I can start writing on each cell. So once I write all that with these 4, let's say I pass the first numbers. If the number was 5, I will do 5 columns, and write on the cells. Then I will move to the next row with this by increasing this amount, and I will actually do the same with this, getting the actual stock to be the next one below the one that we had before. So that's pretty much what it does, and it will do it through all the amount that we have of stock, the individuals that we have. Over here, let me show you over here. And depending on if I have 2 or 3 or 5, I will move around just like that. Okay, and then in here, once I have finished here, basically what I'm doing, I'm just saving the workbooks, so that everything that I did just stayed safe, right? We want to save that because basically that's the reason why we're populating this. And after that, I am enabling Excel to have the updates on the screens as normal as usual. And of course, I inform the person, the user, that everything went smoothly by just sending this message on the screen. And then I exit the sub out, because everything has been done properly. In the case that something happened, as I say, this is my error handler, and this is what I will bring my Visual Basic editor to send any particular error that I have in the process of running this macro. If something happened, it will come directly here, show the message box with the oops, an unexpected error has occurred, and then it will exit the sub out as well. So I was Hunter here, as always, super happy to bring you these small tips in Visual Basic for applications so that you can create your own macros and solve really fast and really I would call it expedite processes in a better way.